meidän liiketoiminta muodostuu valaistustuotteiden ja toimitilakalusteiden maahantuonnista. Me ollaan asiantuntijayritys myöskin. Meidän oma tiimin asiantuntemuksen lisäksi meidän asiakkaiden käytössä on sitten meidän edustamien päämiesten asiantuntemus, eli esimerkiksi valaistusliiketoiminnassa todellakin niin kaikkien meidän edustamien valaisin tehtaiden niin kuin syvät asiantuntemukset on teidän saatavilla ja käytettävissänne. Meidän tuotteet on korkealaatuisia ja tunnettuja ja arvostettuja valmistajia ympäri maailman tänä päivänä, eli eurooppalaisten valmistajien lisäksi meillä on sitten myöskin kumppaneita ihan kauempaakin. Viimeaikaisia referenssejä haluaisin tässä nostaa esille, minkä tyyppisiä kohteita me olemme tehneet, eli me ollaan julkitilojen valaistukseen erikoistuttu. Meidän tuotteet sopii erityisen hyvin julkisten tilojen ja yritysten toimitiloihin. Ja tuossa on listattuna muutama viimeaikainen kohde, esimerkiksi hotelli Scandic Grand Central Helsinki, Turun linnan museosalin valaistus, Oodi Helsingin keskustakirjasto muutama vuosi sitten. Sitten on useita kauppakeskuksia. Ja kaikkiin näihin meidän referenssikohteisiin voitte tutustua meidän nettisivuilla, joissa on esitelty näitä kohteita, erityisesti minkälaisia valaistusratkaisuja niihin olemme toimittaneet ja myöskin kerrottu yhteistyökumppaneistamme niissä kohteissa. Meidän valaistustoiminta perustuu tosiaan meidän oman asiantuntemukseen ja pitkäaikaiseen kokemukseen valaistusratkaisujen toimittamisessa. Me autamme suunnittelijaa, alan ammattilaista ja sitten loppukäyttäjää löytämään se oikeanlaisen ratkaisun, joka tukee sitä tilan nykyistä muuttuvaa ja joustavaa käyttötarvetta. Ja meidän tuotteet ovat korkealaatuisia, energiataloudellisia ja ympäristöystävällisiä. Ja me autamme myöskin sitten meidän asiakkaita ja suunnittelijakumppaneita löytämään sen oikean ratkaisun siihen tilaan. Ja voidaan esimerkiksi järjestää tarvittaessa valaistuskoulutusta tiimillenne tai esimerkiksi tehdä siihen kohteeseen valaistuslaskentaa. Tällä hetkellä meidän valaistuskumppaneita on kymmenkunta. Ja tuossa on varmasti teille suurin osa tuttuja brändejä, eli eurooppalaisia brändejä on useampia. Sen lisäksi sitten JLC-Techin, joka on tänään meidän vieraana tässä webinaarissa, on Amerikasta ja Planet Lighting on Australiasta. Ja tänään kun meillä on vieraana Lars Engelhard, hänen kanssaan me pidettiin LED-book-webinaari viime syksynä ja nyt on siis vuorossa tänään T-bar, joka on innovatiivinen tuote tuolta Amerikan mantereelta. Eli nyt luovutan puheenvuoron sitten Larsille. Lars, you would be free to start your presentation. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna, for the introduction. First of all, hello from Hanover, Germany. We have Finnish weather today. We have painted the sky in Finnish colors, bright blue and white clouds, so it's perfect today. So I thank you all for participating in this webinar. Today we're talking about the T-bar and the T-bar Gemini series. It's a new brand or a new range that JLC introduced. A few words about myself. I'm working as an export manager for company LKD. LKD is located in Salzburg in Austria, and we are the European distributors for JLC. The link to KT Interior is that Anna and her team we are working as regional partners for Finland together for products of JLC-Techin from the United States and for Planet Lighting from Australia. So I would now share my screen. If there are any problems that you can't see it, just make yourself known that something is going on, and we try to fix it as fast as possible. So I will share my screen. So I hope that you can see the presentation right now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So then, yeah, I will start. If anything's come up, just make yourself known, and we can do something. So what is the plan today? The plan is I prepared a PowerPoint presentation here for you. This normally takes 3 hours. I try to make it in 1, so no worries. We will keep the time frame as scheduled. So there will be a few slides about the technique. You will see some project pictures from Europe, from Finland. And when the presentation is finished, I will go back to the camera and I will show you some of the products, yeah, in real life. So that's the plan for the next, let's say, 45 to 60 minutes. And yeah, enjoy. So just to give you the information, because you might be a bit confused. Okay, there's JLC, LKD, KT, a lot of names. Who is doing what in this cooperation? So the product we are talking about is the T-bar LED. The manufacturer of this product is JLC-Techin. They are located close to Boston in the United States. Myself, I'm working for the company LKD. We are located in Salzburg, Austria, and we are the European distributors for T-bar. And we have regional partners throughout Europe. And KT Interior is one of those partners. So I know Anna and her team for many, many years. And yeah, I think we have a very nice cooperation for yeah, these products, and a very capable partner to support you in Finland with all of your projects. So let's go and start this one. So what we are actually talking about is when we look into the history of lighting, we all know these conventional kind of lights, so with the old compact fluorescent lamps. And then LED lighting came up, and we all thought, okay, this is the big revolution. In the very end, a lot of the fittings we are using right now are still looking like the things we already used for many, many years. So what happened is that the design of the fitting was not really transferred into the new. So we stick to the old design and just put an LED in, and that's it. So also in terms of lighting design, things are a little bit stuck. And so yeah, we compared with the old and new telephones. So if you try to do all your apps with this kind of thing, it's a bit tricky. So some years ago, it was like, yeah, 10 years ago, JLC started to think about how can we design a light fitting that honors all the advantages of the LED. And firsthand, the LED is a very small kind of thing. So this enables us to prepare smaller fittings than in the past. So, and then Silvio, who is the owner of JLC-Techin and the product designer, he thought about, okay, in a system ceiling, I have an existing infrastructure. So there are cross tees, and these cross tees can be replaced, or you can take them out. And at the moment, we are not taking out the cross tees, we're taking out the ceiling panels. And especially when you're talking about acoustic ceilings, it's, yeah, a pity that you take out the acoustic ceiling that gives you that much advantage in terms of the acoustic. So in the very end, it would be a smart thing to integrate lighting into that ceiling and maintain the good acoustic. So out of this idea, the T-bar was developed. So the T-bar LED is a product that replaces the cross tees in a system ceiling. So what we are doing right now is we're using the infrastructure of an existing or a new ceiling and integrate the lighting into this infrastructure. So you keep the ceiling tiles as they are. You don't cut them. You don't integrate a downlight or something like that. You just replace the T-bar, the cross T. So the red part here is what's behind above the ceiling, and this is only the part that sticks out of the ceiling. So this is the way how the original T-bar works. You can see here you have the housing. This is the housing here. We have the lighting compartment down here. We have a little kind of reflector down here. And then you can see we have a primary heat sink in here. So this outer rod is a little bit higher than the other ones. So the ceiling tile sits on this one here, and it sits here. So this gives us a little bit of room for air ventilation. So this is where the primary heat can go away, which is very important to maintain the lifetime of the LED. And then we have the upper heat sink, and this also works to get rid of the heat and maintain the lifetime. So this is actually the principle of the T-bar. So this is how this product works. And this is for all of the products in the different series that we have. So you will see 3. Today you will see the architectural line, you will see the eco line, and you will see the Gemini series. So this is, I would say, the bread and butter fitting of the range, of the architectural range, the micro prismatic screen. Very important is we always have 2 different sizes in terms of the profile. So we have a fitting that fits 50mm profile and 24mm profiles. So these are the standard profile systems for all of the manufacturers like Armstrong, Ecophone, Ova, Fural, whatever. And you have standard length, 600mm and 1200mm. In Germany, we have 625 and 1250mm, but internationally only 600 and 1200 is needed. We can also do variations of these. So we can do 300, we can do like 1800 millimeters. So there are different applications. Standard versions 600, 1200. So the micro prismatic is, as I said, the bread and butter fitting. And you can see here, this is one of my projects in the Netherlands. This is the Knippenberg College in Helmond. So here we used the micro prismatic screens. And you can see that we have some kind of a very individual lighting design. So it's not a linear layout. It plays a little bit with the forms and functions. So you can see that the ceiling never looks the same throughout this. And there are 3 identical parts of this this area inside of the building, and they all look different. So this was meant to be, as I said, it's a college, and this is where the students can go in their free time, have something to eat, do some literature, whatever. And the idea is to create some kind of a lounge feeling. So what they didn't want to do is to have a linear light in there, so that they wanted to create more like a like a chill out area kind of thing. So create some kind of cozy atmosphere. Very similar project. You might think, okay, that's not a ceiling, that's not a system ceiling. Indeed it is. So there are wooden grille ceiling tiles available from Armstrong and from other manufacturers. And you can integrate the LED, the T-bar LED, also in these wooden grille ceiling tiles. So you need a special fixture to put the fitting in here, but it's definitely available, and you can see it works out good. And here it's more like a linear design because of the ceiling tile, but also creates a nice and cozy atmosphere. And then we have some pictures from Finland, so maybe Anna or Pauliina, you might have a few words about this.
Joo, tässä on kuva Teknopoliksen aulasta Vantaalta, jossa on tavoiteltu tällaista niin kuin kepeämpää tunnelmaa ja valaisimet on sijoiteltu niin kuin perinteisestä poikkeavalla tavalla, ihan kuten tuossa Lars äsken kertoi, T-bar mahdollistaa valaisimien sijoittamisen hyvin innovatiivisilla tavoilla. Ja tässä on tätä käytetty mikroprismahäikäisysuojaa. Tässä on myöskin T-bar sitten tuolla Easyn tiloissa, ja nämä on tuolla Turussa uusi toimistotalokiinteistö, jossa tämä tila on aika matala ja kohtuu pienet tilat, ja siihen T-bar niin kuin pääsee oikeuksiinsa hyvin ottamatta liian suurta roolia siinä tilassa. Yes, you can show the next one.
Yep.
Ja tässä on sitten Tikkurilasta, Tiedonjyvän päiväkodista kohdekuva, tai muutama kohdekuva, jossa on käytetty esimerkiksi tässä kuvastoa äskeisessä. Please put the first one in the kindergarten back. Yes, I will say some words about this one. I can say them in English because I think this is very brilliant solution where the T-bar has been used to illuminate the wall.
Yes.
Eli tässä todellakin tuolla tilassa muutenkin T-baria oli käytetty hyvin niin kuin tilan niin kuin muotoja ja toiminnallisuuksia tuomaan esiin. You can now change the next one, thanks. Ja tässä näkyy, kuinka tuolla käytävän päässä, jossa on naulakkotiloja, niin valaisimia on sijoiteltu vähän tiheämpään, ja sitten tässä käytävällä muuten riittää pienempikin määrä valaisimia. Sitten tuolla oikealla puolella reunassa on kapea käytävä, ja sinnekin pystytään tekemään T-barin avulla sitten hyvin niin kuin kipeästi se valaistus sinne mukailemaan niitä tilan rakenteita. Okay. Ja akustinen katto säilyttää akustiset ominaisuutensa, kun kattopintaa ei rikota. Se on myöskin tämä iso etu, mikä T-barista tulee. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Anna. So then, we continue with the products. So another version of the T-bar, you have already seen the microprismatic version. This is the multi-reflector version. So what we have here is that you have individual reflectors in high polished silver, white or black over each single LED. So this gives you a very good guidance of the light. It's more efficient than the microprismatic, and we can also reach a good glare control. So with the black version, if you see the black multi-reflector from the sides and it's switched on, you hardly see any glare from the sides. So it's a very nice and good-looking product, and it's easy to integrate into the ceiling. As I said, always 600, 1200 millimeter versions, and 24 and 50 millimeters. Okay, here we go. Now we are on track again. So you can see here, this is a Project Veritas in Turku. So here they use the multi-reflector version. You can see it here, and you can see that we have a very nice control of the light. So this part here is pretty dark, and we have the light here hitting the wall. So it's a very good control of the light where it goes. So this is a very nice option. As I said, you can do it in high polished, in white and in black. Also, often the question is raised, okay, can you customize the color of the housing? Yes, this is possible. So we can paint the housing in any raw color that you like. So if you have a black ceiling with black ceiling tiles, black ceiling rods, whatever, we can do a black T-bar for you. If you have a black ceiling and you want a red fitting in there to make a highlight, to make a statement, we can also do that. So it's also possible to do that. Then we have a version that works as a wall washer. You can see here, this got an asymmetric beam here, so it really kicks the light to the walls. So we have linear prisms in here that make a very nice light distribution. So, and the big advantage of this system is that you have the place or the location of the fitting is already given by the structure of the ceiling. If you integrate some kind of an asymmetric wall washer downlight here, it's often quite tricky to get them really in line. And often you can see if they are a little bit off center, if you have like 6 or 10 in a row, and 2 of them are not really centered, you can see the effect on the wall. So because it looks like a little wave, or it looks a bit choppy. So with this system, the installation is more or less given, because these rods are more or less straight, and so it's easier to install a wall washer, and you get a very good and clean effect. Then we offer clear and opal optics. So we have a little acrylic block down here, so it can be completely clear, or you can have it opal. This gives you a nice distribution of the light downwards, but also a little spill light up against the ceiling. So if you want to highlight the ceiling a little bit, if you want to have some light reflection from there, some soft spill light, this is the way to do it. So this is the Red Cross in Washington, the headquarters. So you can see we have used the acrylic block in here. So you can see that we have a little bit of a spill light against the ceiling, and then we have a soft distribution here. So it's a very modern and straight look of the project. We can do also a larger screen here. So that's the directional sign. So in theory, it's the same as the acrylic block, but this is larger, so we can customize the product. We can put logos in. We can put a text in. There are a lot of things you can do with this product, and this is how it could look like in an orientation. So this is the Portage Royal Bank in Winnipeg, in Canada. So they have used it to give you as a guidance, and you can see here it's not only a normal ceiling, this is a metal ceiling. As long as this is a system ceiling, we can use the T-bar, and also for concealed ceiling systems we can use the T-bar. The only thing that limits us in a ceiling is when the ceiling tiles really touch each other. If the ceiling tiles touch each other, we don't have a chance to get through with the fitting, and then it's not possible to mount it. But for installations like these, where we can see the profiles, or where these are half covered or something like that, called concealed ceiling, we can still use the T-bar. If you are worried about and not sure, can I use it or not, just give us an information, ideally with a data sheet of the ceiling system or the ceiling tile, and then we can evaluate if it works or not. Then we have a 12L model. The 12L model is a product that gives you 600mm lighting surface and 600mm profile. You can see it here. So this is used whenever you want to do this kind of things. So whenever you have these L shapes, you definitely want to use the 12L, because otherwise it's not possible to make these connections here. So in this installation here, this is a normal 1200 fitting, and this is a 12L. So this is the 600mm lighted part. This is the 600mm profile. So we put the 12L in here. We put the normal 1200mm fitting in here, and so we can connect this 1200 here with the other product, and that gives us this nice L shape. So I will show you after the presentation an example how to do it. So with a short sample. So here you can see again, this is a cancer research office. So here the lighting design is, when you look here where this guy is sitting at his desk, so we have here a very linear lighting scheme. And here it's more like a launch character. You can see they played around. Here it's not that colorful, black, white. Here we have a lot of color. So what's the idea behind? The idea behind this is when you're here at your computer, it's more that you think linear, because you're working you're not in the creative mode, let's say. So it's more like, okay, you have to do emails, you have to do this and that. So it's more like a linear kind of thinking. So this is why they try to support the linear thinking with the straighter and more cleaner design here. But sometimes these guys have to be very creative, and this is most of the times not the place where you are creative. You're creative when you're feeling good, when you're cozy. Most of the times you have the best ideas when you're not in the office. It's when you feel good and you are in a good mood. So this is what they tried to create here. So they played around with materials, with different colors, and also with the lighting. So the idea is here to create a launch character that enhances the creativity of the people. So you can see the guy here. So he looks quite relaxed when he's working. So maybe he's not even working, he's just thinking about things. And this is supported by the lighting scheme. So we don't want to have these straight lines in here. We have to be more like a chaos and be creative because you feel good. So this is the idea, and this is something that the T-bar offers you without a huge amount of work, because you don't have to do a lot of things here. You just take out this rod and put the fitting in. You can do it retrofit, you can do it when you do the new installation. So it's a very, very easy and clean system. There's also a T-bar up. This is a product that gives you an indirect light. So especially maybe we talked about for hospital corridors, when you are laying in the bed and you're looking into the light fittings, it's not very comfortable. You feel bad anyway, so you don't need to be flashed by the lights. In addition, so maybe this indirect light, so it comes with these shoulders here, so the light goes up and then it's distributed in a very soft spill downwards. It's a nice, interesting product. And then we have the T-bar 2. T-bar 2 combines two light optics. So on the one hand side, we have the microprismatic material here, and then we have multi-reflectors or single reflectors in here. So what you can do is, when you are in an office application in a meeting room, you have a screen presentation like this. So you want to have a little bit of light here on the table because you make notes or you have to read something, but you want the screen to be pretty dark and glare free. So you switch on only the multi-reflectors. So the multi-reflector directs the light nicely downwards. You can see there's hardly any light here at the wall. So it starts here, and you have a lot of light here down at the table, and you can have a comfortable view to the screen. Sometimes at some point the presentation is over and then you have a face-to-face meeting. So now you need a little bit more light. So you want to recognize the faces. Maybe you want to have a different atmosphere. So then you switch on the diffusing lens, and that gives you the ambient light, and you can have your meeting. So what you can do is you create different lighting schemes, different lighting atmospheres out of one light fitting. A very, very nice and smart system. And we can also do RGBW applications. So if you have this block here in front of your meeting room and you want to use it for guiding, you can make it green or red when it's blocked. So there are a lot of things you can play around with. You can control this with DALI, DMX, or also Kazambi is on board and available. I told you that the installation is quick and easy. So what are we doing right now is we have in a system ceiling, we always have main runners. These are the unchangeable parts of the ceiling, and then we have replaceable cross T's. So what we can do is here, so this is a one-piece main runner. So this gives the structure to the ceiling. So this is normally every second rod that goes along in a ceiling. This is unchangeable, so this can't be taken out, and we highly recommend not to cut these things because this gives the structure to the ceiling. But then there are many things that we can replace. So this is a replaceable cross T, This is a replaceable cross T. This one here can change as well. So what we are doing, if this is a retrofit installation, we identify our main runners, and automatically we have all the rods that we can change, and then we can adjust our lighting design according to the layout. If we have a new installation, we can tell mostly the ceiling guys, okay, we want the lights to be in these places, please adjust your main runners accordingly. So there are always two sides how you can work on this. So either you have an existing ceiling, so you have to adjust the layout a little bit to the ceiling, or if it's a new ceiling, there are many options to adjust the ceiling to the light layout. So both versions are possible. This product is compatible to all the main manufacturers. So if we are talking about Armstrong in the United States, we have a direct cooperation with Armstrong, so we have a special connection to Armstrong. But it's also available with Ova, Knauf, Ecophone, Rockphone, Fural, and many others, because if you look at the ceiling systems, they are mainly all the same in terms of how they work. So the clip might look a bit different, but the function is all the same. And then if we talk about how to power up these LED T-bars, we are using 24-volt DC LED drivers. So mainly we are using Tridonic, but you are free to use any drivers that you want. We have standard on-off drivers. We can use dimmable drivers, 1 to 10 volts, Dali, DMX, and also Kazambi can be on board. So this is the architecture range. Architecture range is something that goes into higher end areas. So if we're talking about conference rooms, maybe offices, some kind of get together areas, launch areas, something like that. I think you get the point. But then inside a building, we often have these lower end areas where you say, okay, it's just a corridor. It needs to be lit good, but it's not, it doesn't require the high-end fitting. So this is where we introduce the T-Bar Eco line. So the T-Bar Eco features the same function as the architecture line, but it looks a little bit different, and but the function is very similar. But it uses different LED chips. It comes with a different body, so it's more like a low-cost approach to things. But in terms of the lighting technology, it's still pretty good. So you can see it here. It looks a little bit different, but you can still do some L shapes with these things. And this is what I explained before. So all the black rods here, these are the unchangeable main runners. So if you want to put a fitting in here, this is not possible because this is a not changeable rod. All the gray parts here can be changed. So you can change, if you say, I want the light to be here, you can take this out and put a light fitting in here. You can see we have in this layout, we have used the blue ones are 600 millimeter fittings. The green ones are 1200 millimeter fittings. And so you can connect these, you can put them as singles. You can do T's. And you can also do L's because this 12L model is also available for the Eco version. So you are still able to maintain or to create an interesting light layout, but for a little bit lower cost approach. The mounting is similar to the one that I already explained. It's also 24-volt DC. Difference is that the LED driver is already put in here, or not the driver, but the connection is in here. The architectural range is different. I can show you later when we finish the slides here. Also in here, so you can see this one is the universal clip. So this works with all ceiling tiles. This one is the Armstrong clip. And here you can see, so this is the main difference. We have only this these two light options. So it's opal, it's square lens, but the square lens is open here on the sides as well. So you got a similar effect like the block lens. And we also have it with a round lens in here. So these are the two versions available in 15 and 24 millimeters, 600, 1200 millimeters. And then we come to the new member of the family. This is the Gemini series. So when you see the picture, this looks pretty different to the one that we have seen before. So we have been approached many times by designers, by architects, by lighting designers, and saying, okay, we would like to have a wider fitting, but still combine it with the mounting of the original T-bar. But we need a little bit more light. We need a better UGR level or something like that. So can you help us? And this is where the Gemini series came in. So from the design, it's still the same. It's still the same product, but now it looks a little bit different. And from the mounting, it's also still the same. So you can easily replace the crossbars and integrate the light fitting. So the Gemini series is 100 millimeters wide, but you can still mount it to 50 millimeters or 24 millimeters profiles. The fitting comes with a high diffusing lens cover below. We have the light compartment in here, and all the heat dispersion is up here. So there are two different versions available. One version, this is called the single lens version, and this is called the double lens version. You can easily guess where it comes from. Here you have one light surface. Here you have two light surfaces divided by this cross T. So if you are looking for the best efficiency, the best UGR levels, and so on, this one here with the microprismatic screen is the one to go for. We will see some numbers in the next slides. How to mount this? It's shown here in the 1200 millimeter version, but as I said, 600 is available too. So we have a gap of 1200 millimeters here. We have the 550 millimeters rods coming in here, and then we can fix the Gemini directly here, as you can see here, to these rods, and then it's integrated, and these rods click in here and make a connection to the fitting so that it sits nicely tight inside there. So these are the main runners. So these are not changeable, and these are changeable. So this is why we decided, okay, this is a changeable runner here. So we take this out, or we take this out and integrate the fitting. So as I said, we need a 550 millimeter cross T here, and we need a smaller tile here because the fitting is wider. If this would be the standard T-bar, this would be a 600 millimeter cross T, and this would be a 600 by 600 millimeter tile. Now the Gemini series is a bit wider, 100 millimeters, so we need a little bit more space here. So the rod is just 550 millimeters, and the ceiling tile is 550 by 600 millimeters. So this is something that you have to consider when thinking about the Gemini series. Same thing, but in a different version. You can see that these are the main runners, and here these are the changeable ones, and we integrated the fittings in here so you can put them in this direction or in that direction. Easy. This is how an installation looks in reality. So you can see that the fittings are here, so they come pre-wired, so that they can easily be connected. And yeah, this is how it looks from below. If we're talking about the double lens, as I said, we have 600, 1200 millimeters. Available for 50 millimeters and 24 millimeters mounting. It goes up to 36 watts. Maximum light output is 3,350 lumens. UGR 19 options are available with a diffused with a prismatic. With a diffused prismatic option, and Here we go again. So UGR 19 options available, and we have up to 93 lumens per watt or up to 2,800 lumens per meter. So if you want to go with a diffuse prismatic, if you need UGR levels, then this is the one to go for, because this is an opal screen. This gives you a good light distribution, but not something glare limited. This is how both options look when they are together. So here we have the opal screen, here we have the micro prismatic screen. So this is the double lens version. Single lens version, we have also both versions, diffused white opal or diffused prismatic. So here the light output is higher because we have more surface, so 4,450 lumens. Also here UGR 19 level can be achieved, and we are up to 123 lumens per watt or 3,700 lumens per meter. So this can be done with the Gemini. So if you're looking for the best efficiency, UGR level rating, and a lot of light, this is the product to go for. And this is how it looks from below. So you see you have more surface, and this is where we have a better glare control and more light output in the very end. A few project pictures from the United States. So this is Halda Therapeutics. So you can see here they integrated the double lens version in here. You can see it's a nice controlled, it's a good lighting scheme, and also in the meeting room they used this product. You can see it's the only light that is integrated in this room. So we have nice lighting scheme here on the table and also here on the shelves. And also they used it in the offices of this medicine office in Texas. So you can see here they introduced, so this is a 1,800 millimeter version. So you can see this is normally 600. So this is 3 tiles, so it's 1,800 millimeters. So it's a longer version of the standard one. So that's from the presentation. And so I go back to my camera. So I hope you can see me. And so this is the T-bar. Yes.
Lars, can you hear me?
Yes.
Please stop sharing the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah. Now.
Okay.
We can see you better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't aware. Okay. So this is a sample of the T-bar profile. So this is the original T-bar, the architecture line that we discussed at first. So you can see this is a 24 millimeter profile, and these are the different mountings. So this is the universal clip that you can see here. So this is here, and this is the Armstrong clip. So yeah, this is a Armstrong ceiling or crossbar. You can see 24 millimeters. And you can see you have the openings here. So if you have an Armstrong ceiling and you have an Armstrong clip, the fitting goes together like this. So you can see it sits nice in here. But you can also do it with the universal clip. And then it sits like this. So I hope you can see it. It's not fixed well here. This is why it looks a bit off center, but when it's fixed nicely, it works perfectly. And you can take it away. Just easily slide this over and it sits nicely in there. So this is actually the part that is sticking out of the ceiling tile, and the ceiling tile is then coming to this part here and covers this part and lays here on the ceiling rod and here on the T-bar. If we have the 12L, this is the 12L model, a short one without the mountings. So you have half of this is lit, half of this is the profile. What you can do is you can just fix it with the universal clip. You can see it on top, and then yeah, slide it to the right place, and then you have this L shape, as you can see, or you can do it like this as well. So this is something that you can decide how to do it. So this is actually the one. So I want to show you the real fitting. So I have to push back a little bit. So this is the 600mm block lens. You can see here, here's the lens. So let's switch off the light here and see if we can do this. So this is how it looks when it's lit. So you can see from the sides you have the clear screen, and from below you have the light distribution downwards. So it's opal, and you can do it vice versa. You can have the sides also opal and the clear part down. And you can see the fitting comes already pre-wired like this. So you see here, there's one. Here's the other cabling, and it's a Vago connector, so you can daisy chain the fittings easily. So it's Vago connectors, so you can daisy chain up to 6 fittings to one driver. So if you have 600mm versions, it's 16 watts. The driver is 96 watts, so you can daisy chain 6 of these, or 3 of the long ones, or any combination that is not exceeding 96 watts. So this is the architecture line. Then we have the let's see, the Ecoline version. So you see it looks a little bit different in terms of the light optics. So this is the round one, the opal round, and connection box is here on top. So you have no cables coming out here. So there's no through wiring in here. So all the wiring is done in this little box up here. And let's see, let's switch this one on. Just a second. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Sorry. The plug is gone. I'm sorry. But yeah, from principle, you can see that yeah, it's the principle is the same fitting, but it looks a little bit different. And this can be also come as a square lens. And then finally, we have the Gemini series in here. So you can see it here. I go a bit back. So this is how it looks in real life. So this is the double lens version. This is how it looks on top. So you can see here is the mounting, the universal mounting that goes onto a clip onto the rod. So this is where you fix it. Same on the other side. So I guess you get the idea. So let's see if we can fire up this one. Yeah, here we go. So you can see this is how the double lens looks. like. I don't want to face it too much into the camera so you not get blinded, but you can see. And also have a single one. So this is the single one. You can see this is the prismatic screen here. Also with the mounting here, with the mounting pieces. Connection box is on top here. TCI driver is integrated in this one here. And let's see how it looks. So this is how the Gemini single looks like. Okay. So I told you that we need about 45 minutes. So it's 5 minutes to 1 in Germany. I guess we are on schedule. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. You can do it in Finnish because it might be easier, and the KT team will support you. If you don't have any questions, I thank you very much for your attention. It was good having you today, and yeah, if you have any questions, please come up, please come forward.
Niin, nyt on sana vapaa. Onko kysyttävää? Mielenkiintoisen esityksen jälkeen. Jos ei tässä vaiheessa tule kysymyksiä mieleen, voitte aina palata niiden erilaisten asioiden kanssa, eteen tulevien kysymysten kanssa sitten meidän tiimin puoleen. Eli meidän valaistustiimi, Lilli, Pauliina ja minä olemme kaikki 3 teidän käytettävissänne T-bar ja Geminin liittyvien kysymysten kanssa ja ratkaisemaan kohteissanne oleviin valaistusprobleemia. Tässä vaiheessa haluan kiittää teitä kovasti osallistumisesta.